Order the Westford Conservation Commission meeting for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. This meeting is being broadcast live by Westford Cable Access TV and recorded for playback online. By participating in this meeting, you're consenting to your audio and likeness being used for this purpose. The first item on our agenda at 7 o'clock is open forum. Do any members of the commission have something for open forum? Sierra, do you have anything?
I do not.
Okay. Do any members of the audience have something for open forum? Okay, moving on to our other 7 p.m. agenda item. It's a public hearing for the Town of Westford Department of Public Works.
Under Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetland bylaw, Chapter 171. The Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 at 7 p.m. in meeting room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the notice of intent application of Westford Department of Public Works to work within jurisdictional wetlands and associated 100-foot and 200-foot buffer zones to replace the existing culvert where an unnamed perennial stream crosses underneath Acton Road, north of 109 Acton Road, map 13, parcel 40, lot 0.
Good evening.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Paul Starrett, Town Engineer for the Town of Westford, here with the design lead, Greg Gaudreau from TEC, one of our design consultants, and we're here to fulfill a promise I made a couple of years ago that we were going to stop this emergency culvert repairs. Of course, emergencies do occur. We just had one on Old Homestead, but we're going to try and avoid emergency status on that as well, because we'd like to come through the process. We believe that we're helping our natural resources by following the notices of intent and the orders that you give us. And we think we all agreed before that using the emergency status for culverts was not the right way to go. So we're using our Stormwater Enterprise Fund, which is supplied by the fee that our residents pay, to take these in priority. So wish we could have guessed at the Old Homestead one, but that's a bigger project, and we'll be back for that. This one is on Acton Road, Route 27, about 400 feet from Greenwood. Just south of this, or just north of this, you can see the Bruce Freeman Rail Trail for reference. And I'll let Greg take you through the technical components of this.
Thank you, Paul. So this is there's an existing 18-inch corrugated metal pipe that currently goes.
What was your name for the record?
Greg Gaudreau.
Gaudreau, okay.
From TC. So there's an 18-inch corrugated metal pipe that goes under Acton Road. It conveys an unnamed stream that flows from north to south, comes underneath the rail trail. There's a little bit of a wet area between the rail trail and Acton Road, and then there's the pipe that conveys it out to a channel that's on the south side. We are proposing to replace that 18-inch corrugated metal pipe with a new precast concrete box culvert. The opening will be a 5-foot 9-inch rise by 9-foot span, and we're proposing to put 2 feet of material in the bottom, so the actual hydraulic opening will be just under 4 feet. So significantly conveying more flow, have a natural stream bottom in the base of it. We are meeting stream crossing standards for this, so providing the 1.2 bank full width, natural stream bed, embedded structure, maintaining water velocity, flow depth, those criteria. We did propose minimal amount of riprap that we could on this, only just around the wing walls to stabilize the slopes. Other than that, it's all meant to be either dredge or excavate natural stream bed material, place it back down once the structure's in. If there's not sufficient, then we'll put a simulated stream bed material back there. In terms of, we've kept everything in the right of way, so nothing goes outside at this point. And that's the bulk of
That's the highlight of the project for Jeremy. He doesn't have to do the community compliance for taking easements and orders of takings and appraisals and the many nightmares that go with that. And we did make provisions, even though the rail trail is right there, we could put in a sidewalk. We're paying attention to that in all of our projects with culverts, in case we come back later on, we haven't boxed ourselves in.
No,
I have a question about timing. How long would this take? I didn't see it in all the 360 pages. How long would it take, and when would you possibly start?
So we're gonna, I believe on this one, we've appropriated the money from the stormwater enterprise. Town meeting still authorizes the expenditure from that, just as they do with capital. And so we would like to do this in the spring.
Okay, because there was a comment about, about the low water, you want to do it when the water's low, right?
In this particular case,
Yeah, I mean, we would design the controlled water for the 2-year storm, which is less than 5 CFS, so we could do it for that.
Okay.
But depending on when funds are available, that would be part of it. In terms of a construction duration, these projects would typically last 6 to 8 weeks. However, you know, it's a very busy road. We'd be looking at trying to get the structure out and new structure in within like a week or 2 at the most.
Wow.
we always prefer to put our bids out in the November, December window. Projects are done, contractors are looking for next season's work. The bids generally come back much better, so
Yes.
we'll target that. But, you know, once we open up the envelope and shake hands with the contractor, means and methods are up to them. We can discuss the schedule. You can make comments in your orders about the schedule, but typically we manage those, just, you know, once we get it. It's a mystery until somebody opens that envelope, so.
Jim?
The pipe you're taking out is only 18 inches round, and the box you're putting in is 9 feet wide by like 3 feet tall.
Yes.
So it's way, way bigger with much, much higher capacity than the pipe. How much water is in the pipe in a typical spring day? Is it chock full? And how much is going to be left in the box culvert when you replace it with something so much bigger?
Fair question. The few times I've been out there, I've never seen it fully full. It's maybe half to 3/4 full most of the time when I've been out there. We are
Like a trickle in the
Yeah, it's not,
box culvert.
we, you know, we can't call it an equalizer, but it appears to be doing the work of equalizing on the other side of the rail trail to where the railroad bed was a natural dam. So I think that's the gist of it.
It's just a generally very, very low flow.
Right, yeah.
On
yeah.
both sides.
That's why it's unnamed. If it was anything more substantial, somebody would run out there and throw their name on it.
We are proposing too that there'll be like a deeper portion in the middle. So
Yeah,
if it's
so-
low flow, it will kind of still stay centralized without just letting everything 100% go. Rather, like if you put a flat bottom, then yeah, it goes out and all of a sudden everything can just go down too.
So-
If it's low on both sides of of Acton Road, it's gonna be almost invisible when it goes into the box culvert.
Yeah.
And as you rightfully pointed out, we're going from an 18-inch pipe to a 9.5.
Wide by 3 feet
Right,
tall.
and just as a teaching moment for the public, that's a result of the stream crossing guidelines that have been imposed on municipalities and the state, which of course allows critters and movements, and it improves the natural flow, the capacities and so forth. However, it does significantly increase the costs to do $100,000 pipe replacement versus where's our construction estimate now?
I want to say it was around 1.1 or 1.2.
Yeah, so we're going,
10 times.
yeah,
Yeah.
easily. You know, I anticipate that at some point, DEP is gonna have to, you know, well, it's Corps of Engineers or
No,
Office of,
it's
the
not-
state's gonna have to
yeah.
become more reasonable, or else nobody is, either two things are gonna, I anticipate two things are gonna happen. Everyone's gonna go emergency and just start replacing pipes. Or, you know, they're just not gonna be, they're gonna be able to do one instead of 10. And what we're all racing to do is to prevent what happened in Vermont, with their disaster and the unexpected rainfalls and the subpar culverts that they had destroyed significant infrastructure. So a discussion for another time, but I think there'll have to be some kind of a
Balancing.
A
Or
balancing
midpoint.
act, compromising, but right now, they're in complete control. They control all three branches in the state, so we do what they're told, we do what we're told.
I don't remember whether in the narrative there was any talk, but are there any utilities in this road? I mean, we often see your projects having to handle that work as
Yeah.
well.
Yes. This National Grid was at the select board last night, making arrangements to relocate a utility pole on this side, right, Greg?
Yeah, well, so there's one utility pole there, so they're going to have to move that one and add another one to keep the line. So moving it away from where the structure is. The other National Grid, there's a
Yeah.
gas main out
So
here too.
gas is always our challenge. Grid does take the opportunity to evaluate their infrastructure in the area of construction, and if it's an opportunity like it was for them on Plain Road to do significant overhaul, they can make that a part of the pre or post project.
Mhm.
I think we were looking at directional here.
In this case here, they're looking at coming in and directionally drilling it below where the proposed pipe will be before we even do our construction. Yes.
And am I correct to say that Grid has to get their own order of conditions from you, or does it fold into this project?
For, would they could do, what?
I'm sorry, what you're
National
asking?
Grid Gas will be working in the area.
If he has to work and do utility work within the buffer zone, do they have to come to us separately as part of this?
There's nothing in
Well,
here.
yeah, this
Right.
isn't, this
Yeah.
doesn't include any of that information, so.
I know with straight pole replacements, they come to us.
Right.
They may, yeah, and as to having their own order as opposed to trying to piggyback onto yours.
Right,
Yeah, most, utility maintenance, though, just replacement of poles is exempt. So
Right.
we
It's
may
the
not even,
gas
they may
here
not
that
even need
they'll
be here
approval
for.
depending on.
I anticipated that, but you cannot blame me for trying.
Yep.
I'm good.
Okay. Sierra, did you have anything else?
I did just want to mention that they did receive some comments from DEP, which they responded to. The plan up on the screen is actually a revised one that was part of that package of responding to the DEP comments.
Okay. Do any members of the audience have comments or questions on this project? Okay. So the next thing, so at this point, we do not have any outstanding questions or items for you. So the next thing would be to, this is an NOI, so there's going to be an order of conditions.
Mhm.
So we would draft an order of conditions. Would you be looking for that at our next meeting?
It would be convenient only because it keeps us on schedule for bidding. We'd like to include the NOI
Okay.
in the bid package, and we also need to record it, so
Mhm.
that would be convenient for us if it fits your agenda.
And had you talked through the timing of that with Matt in terms of him having the draft ready for the next meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the works, it'll be
So
ready.
we would continue to our October, October 8th?
8th.
Okay, so we would continue to our October 8th meeting and have a draft order of conditions ready to review at that time?
Excellent.
Can I have a motion to continue the public hearing to October 8th?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We will see you then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
You too. Okay.
Want to make sure everyone knows who you are.
Unless anybody else wants to.
Okay. Moving on to our 7:10 PM agenda item. It's a continuation of public hearing and issue order of conditions for Hun?
Yes.
30 Preservation Way. So good evening.
Good evening. Clayton Hun, owner and applicant, 30 Preservation Way.
Okay. And I believe that draft order of conditions was forwarded to you. You didn't have any questions. Jim?
We still had questions on the plan. I think some of
Okay.
the distances were added, the ones that we were concerned about.
Yes.
And the distances are a little bit strange because they're not perpendicular to the, what do you call it, to the wetland boundary,
Okay.
right? You got it? The wetland boundary and the 30-foot buffer line. This our concern about it.
What?
The pointer?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah,
Well,
the red button in the middle
Okay.
top-ish.
So-
It's like a little red line on
Measure
it.
the distance from the 30-foot buffer to the wetland line. You should be going perpendicular to here and there, not like this, which is off at an angle. My concern is the kitchen area made out of pervious material, like the rest of the pavers, or not, because that's inside the 30-foot.
So the kitchen area is covered by a roof, and so I measured it from the corner of the roof on the right and left side. So
so
the kitchen area will be completely covered by the kitchen.
can you use the
Is
pointer?
it this button?
There's,
Yeah, I think it's that one. It's
I
a
see
Yeah.
the
red
four,
line on
They-
I
it.
see the 4 posts that are
Correct.
gonna hold it up.
Oh, maybe it's the one below that.
below.
with the-
Yeah, so
There we
there's-
go.
Yeah.
So the dotted line represents the kitchen roof, which is right there. So I measured perpendicular from the right side corner to the wetland flag. That's
so
the
can
30
you,
feet.
can you put the dot on what, so that,
That would be the right corner of the kitchen roof,
okay,
and that measuring is 30 feet from the wetland flag.
okay.
It's measured off at an angle as opposed to the shortest distance. So it's gonna look longer here than if you go shortest distance from the 30-foot buffer line to the.
Oh, what you're saying is,
It'll be like
All-
29 or
all the
28.
measurements are off, because the buffer line is not parallel, it is not parallel to the bottom of the screen, the top of the
No,
screen.
no.
okay.
They're off at an angle.
Okay.
So like if they're at an 80 or 85 degree angle, is that,
Right.
yeah,
It's
is
gonna be
that
close.
gonna?
It's gonna be close, but they're gonna be, these are gonna be shorter.
Actually, can we have-
for longer distances than what we, than the actual.
Sorry, I think we need a
Jim?
second pointer.
Yeah, Jim, if you want to take this, I think if you can kind of, the top, yes. No, the other way around.
Like that's not that far off from a 90 degree.
It's not the shortest distance. He said.
There you go.
Okay.
From this line to this line, these are not the shortest distances. These are extended. It's gonna be less than 30 feet if you take the shortest distance from this dotted line perpendicular over to this wetlands line.
So
So
clarification,
they're all gonna be less than 30 feet.
are we looking at the dotted line that represents the kitchen roof?
No, I'm looking at the 30-foot buffer line.
The
And
the
the
30-foot buffer line is a straight line that is 30 feet from the wetland flag on the right as well as the
Right.
wetland flag on the left.
But this isn't, it's not, it doesn't show 30 feet from the buffer line to here. It shows 30 feet off at an angle. This isn't a 90-degree angle here. And that's not a 90-degree angle up there.
So, Jim, you're talking, what you're saying is if you chose a point on the 30-foot buffer line and you went to the closest point of it,
Because he's not doing it at a
Yeah.
90 degree.
It'd be exactly like that.
Like
So-
29 or 28.
So
It'd be less than 30 feet.
I guess it,
And we're already at less than 30 feet where the kitchen is inside the shown 30-foot buffer line. But I'm saying that that 30-foot buffer line isn't in the right location compared to the wetland flag line.
so what it's doing is it's not showing the closest distance between the proposed, the project item and the closest point to the wetland, as we're used to seeing
This
it.
dotted line isn't showing actually 30 feet from the wetland flag.
Because he's not at a 90 degree to
Yeah,
the
right.
30-foot
Oh,
buffer line.
Exactly.
Because,
Exactly.
okay, because the 30-foot line is not perpendicular to the two lines it's measuring the distance between.
Correct.
I don't understand why it would be perpendicular. Is the question the 30-foot buffer line? Is that,
All right.
I guess, Jim, clarification,
If
are you
this is,
saying?
if this is the wetlands and down here.
But the wetlands is at an angle.
Right.
So the wetland flag was
Okay.
measured, it's basically the
Right.
distance between
Then
both
we'll
flags.
flip
So it is that way,
Flip it off
correct?
at an angle.
Correct.
Then you have 30 feet from here to here. You don't have 30 feet from here to here.
But I guess clarification, Jim, what is the here? Are you measuring it to the 30-foot buffer line, or are you measuring it to the kitchen roof?
I'm not measuring to the kitchen, I'm measuring to the 30-foot buffer line.
Okay.
And then where the kitchen shows up, I'm concerned with because it's inside the 30-foot line.
Okay, so I guess just clarification on the first piece. The 30-foot buffer line is 30 feet from the two wetland flags that, if you take a look at Exhibit B, was visually identified by me.
Yeah, and I guess
But that's not what the
But
diagram shows.
where it may be confusing is where the line between the two, the wetland line and the buffer line, where it shows 30 feet,
Correct.
what we can't really tell is normally if this was the wetlands and then this is the buffer, the distance between them would be the straightest, would be perpendicular to the two lines is the shortest distance. So what's not clear from this plan is that 30 feet actually the distance between the 2 points it's showing, or is that just used, is,
If I measured from this point to way over here, I could make it look like it was 40 or 50 feet.
Well, it
If I
would
measured
be.
it from here to over here, I could make it look like it's 80 feet long.
That is correct,
What I want is the shortest distance.
which is 30 feet.
okay,
That's not what
But-
shows.
but-
what
It
it
is,
shows.
that's the 30 feet. So look up, both on the left side and the right
not-
side,
it's not-
from the wetland flag, which is represented by with a circle,
Yep.
so that I could only see 2 wetland flags. I
Yeah.
took 30 feet from those wetland flags, straight towards the project area.
okay, so you were at the wetland flags and looking at the wetland line, you went perpendicular to the wetland line to set your lot,
Correct.
the 30 foot there. Okay,
So that's the 30 on the right, as well as the 30 on the left, which is the second to last measurement.
but and I guess when we see these things, Jim, can you hold up your piece of paper so that the corner, the right edge corner is against that wetland?
Perpendicular, there you
Yeah,
go.
no. No, can I hear? Is what I'm thinking is when the top line is parallel to the wetland line, and then this is where,
That would be 30 feet.
that would be where we would expect to see the 30 feet.
Right.
And so what's confusing for us is we would expect, if these lines are still 30 feet apart, we would expect this line to be connecting the wetland flag to the closest.
At 2 right angles.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the intent of the map is to have that, basically, the 30-foot buffer line is parallel to the wetland line,
As it should be.
as it should be.
Right.
But the
Okay.
distance,
And so that is what the 30 feet is, and that's where we put the kitchen purposely, to be exactly at the 30 foot.
Okay, but where that 30-foot label is,
Mhm.
looks misleading because it's not connecting 2 points that are actually technically 30 feet
So
apart.
I guess when I look at it, it is supposed to be touching the dotted line as well as touching the wetland flag. Is that not what the committee
But
sees?
not at an angle. It should be at 90
it
degrees.
should be 90-degree angle both up here and down here.
Yeah, the shortest distance between 2 parallel lines is.
Right. That's-
Yes.
That's what you,
The
that's what I want to see,
perpendicular,
the
the
shortest
distance
distance.
between
And I guess, what is the angle that the committee sees now? It is
I don't
You don't
know.
know.
below 90 or above 90?
It's gonna be
Well,
shorter.
depending on which
It's
side,
gonna be
it's-
less than 30 feet though. The actual distance is gonna be less than 30 feet.
Well,
But I guess what is the reference point for, I understand the wetland flag is a reference point, but I guess what is the other reference point other than,
We're talking about how
Usually
close is it
perpendicular.
to the,
The concern is we don't allow any
Wetlands.
building inside 30 feet.
yeah, so I
And this
understand your
looks like it's
second
partly
point.
inside 30 feet here, and I know
Correct.
this distance is exaggerated because it's gonna be longer than 30 feet if it's gonna be perpendicular to both sides.
so I think what we were looking for
Oh,
is.
sorry, less than 30 feet if it's perpendicular to both sides.
is a line from the corner of the roof
Mhm.
up to somewhere along that wetland flag where that line is shortest.
Okay,
You slide either direction, the line gets longer. And so what we were looking for is from the corner to the place on the wetland line where the distance is shortest.
The only
so,
reason I'm concerned right there is everything else is pervious. You have plantings on soil that's gonna absorb water. You have the patio pavers that are all pervious pavers.
Understood.
So all that's good. The only thing that's not, that is also happens to be inside 30 feet is the kitchen.
Yep,
But
yes,
the plant
understood.
areas around the kitchen, that's okay too. But the kitchen itself is an actual structure, and it's not outside 30 feet.
So I understand that the kitchen roof on the right-hand side, you want that 30 feet perpendicular from the wetland line.
Yes,
The wetland line is identified from that wetland flag, the circle. I guess, are we in agreement that the wetland flag,
that's what
Sorry.
the line is between the two flags.
Are we in agreement?
I guess, where,
Okay. I think, Jim, your question is,
I didn't ask a question.
okay, when you were looking for confirmation that if you look at the two wetland flags and draw a line between them,
mhm.
that's the edge of the wetland to which we're measuring our distances.
Presumably, all right, that's what we
Okay.
have for the plan.
Yeah,
So I want to adhere to what the committee's asked for. Where would you want the line to be drawn? Because I will put the kitchen roof corner at exactly 30 feet. But is
Okay.
it because it's
From here
90?
to here, perpendicular. Perpendicular, 90-degree angle up here, and a
Uh-huh.
90-degree angle somewhere down on this line, wherever it comes to.
so if you found, so if you figured out how to structure things so that you can draw a line that's perpendicular to both, and then just slide that line along
Mhm.
till one end is on the corner of the roof,
Mhm.
and then you know where the point on the wetland that's closest.
Mhm. So that's the right-hand side of the kitchen roof.
Yeah,
So the right-hand side of the kitchen roof is exactly 30 feet perpendicular from that flag. Now, I'm
the
not
flag.
arguing that the left-hand side.
Not the flag,
no, but,
to the line.
But the line is it's a drawn line between the two flags. Like, I don't
Yeah.
have a thing to measure it to.
but,
I mean, the rest of the distances are all measured to that line, so.
Correct. So like, I tried to take everything to the most
The
exact
reason
point.
I'm not mentioning any of those other distances is because they're all impervious soil.
Oh, yeah, sure, no, I just meant that, you know, we're looking,
And even those
distance
are
to the
often
line, not just
Right,
the
all of
two
those are
flags,
all
that's all.
incorrect numbers too. The numbers are smaller than, because none of them are perpendicular to the two parallel lines. So all of those distances are exaggerated by a little bit. How much, I don't know.
I don't understand that comment.
None of those distances are correct if you go the shortest distance to the wetlands,
Right.
as drawn by that line you have up there.
Yeah, where those lines go north-south and,
Right.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
just has to do it
But he
perpendicular.
has to understand what you're saying.
Oh, I know.
But as Jim said, it's not so material as this one.
Mhm.
Do you have, did a
you
landscape
draw it?
architect help?
Correct.
you with
The design, the landscape architect put the lines in based on their software.
it? He or she should know
Yeah.
that the distance between two parallel lines isn't shown on here the way it's done now.
Well, here it's.
So
it's
the
done
distance
north-south.
between two parallel lines is the 30-foot buffer line. You're asking for the distance from
So what
the
you're
project
saying-
components to the wetland line. Is that?
No, I'm, right now, first thing I want to see is 30 feet between the wetland line and the buffer line.
Right, so
That's it.
those are 30 feet from the left wetland flag and 30 feet from the right wetland flag in a drawn line between the 2 points.
So basically.
Is that not the correct way to do it?
Are you saying that you calculated, you went from each wetland flag and went 30 feet?
Correct.
And then drew a line to,
Yes, so there was only 2 wetland flags that I could visually identify, the right-hand side and the left-hand side. So from the right-hand side, that right, I don't have the pointer, but if you look up
Okay,
there,
that's fine.
that
That's all you
right
have.
circle
yeah.
is 30 feet straight down. And
Straight
then the
down
left,
or,
And that's the problem, it's straight north and south instead of being perpendicular to the
Because-
30-foot buffer line.
Be- no, not the third. See, when
Well,
he's
he's got
telling,
it.
he's telling us how he came up with the
No,
30.
I
correct.
know, he's got the 30-foot on the one coming all the way down to the 30-foot, and then the other one, 30 feet down to the other one.
Green
but
design
south.
should fix this diagram so that those distances are accurately displayed.
I guess what is accurate, I guess, I would want to do what the committee's asking for, but if you
Minimum
could be
distance.
And
clear.
take yours and
Yeah,
and
or
draw
take
the
mine.
perpendicular angle
Please.
and
You wanna
just
take
give it back
mine?
to him and say, this
And
is
draw
the-
it for him?
This is what I want.
Take mine and draw it for
No,
him.
we got it.
Because I know what you're saying.
And
it's
then you
just-
can give him that piece of paper. You're not gonna show him, you're gonna give it
I
to
have this
him.
one right here. I already got it on there. I want to know what it is perpendicular to both of those. Here you go.
Draw one for him,
So
Jim.
just draw it in there
It's
for
already
me.
on there.
Jim, draw one for
He's
him.
done
I
it.
already did it.
You're gonna give him that?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
If you ask the landscape design architect, they should understand that what we're looking for is the minimum distance between the wetland buffer and the wetlands and the 30-foot buffer line. And once we know that, then we can see
It's
whether,
a-
then we can see whether it
Yeah,
is.
it's, what we would, the way we would normally see it is if in fact the distance is 30 feet, is that instead of the line labeled 30 feet going north-south, it would go perpendicular to the 30-foot buffer line and hit the wetland line to the left of the wetland flag, because that distance is in fact shorter, and if that is what's really 30 feet, that would be how we would expect to see it. Because the point that's, the closest point is not the wetland flag itself, it's somewhere along that wetland line.
And once we got that 30-foot line actually established where it is, maybe the kitchen is okay where it is, or maybe the kitchen has to move a little further away.
Yeah, so I'm beginning to understand, but I guess just clarification, Jim, like where's this point that you've marked out?
Well,
what
given
goes on?
that those two lines are parallel, it doesn't matter where along the line. It's still gonna be 30.
It'll always be.
But your
30 feet.
area of focus is the kitchen area,
Right,
so I'm
yeah.
just
Right.
curious as to that particular area.
And somebody
Can I
would
have
take
the
a
point?
right, yeah, somebody
I
would
just wanna make
take,
sure I added.
Oh, no, we wanted to make sure we get,
Yeah.
yeah.
so, yeah, because it would be, you would use a right edge from the buffer line to show where on the wetland line the distance is measured to.
Okay. So, I guess first order of business, correct the 30-foot buffer line.
Is,
As it's presented, the committee doesn't agree with the accuracy of the.
Well,
The
it's-
buffer is fine.
if,
The buffer line is fine.
Well, according
Yeah.
to Jim, you're saying that the buffer line, you're in disagreement.
Actually, no, the buffer line might be wrong too.
well,
I don't know what's right or what's wrong. It's just that this distance and the diagram as shown here with these two parallel lines, yeah, one of them is wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is that's wrong. If that's your actual wetlands flag, and if this line is supposed to be 30 feet, then this diagram is wrong because this angle isn't 90 degrees here and there. You'd have to measure it off at an angle like this, so it's 90 degrees up here and 90 degrees down here. And then, if the 30 feet is right, then this distance is going to be even less than 30 feet. And so your kitchen is inside the 30 foot more than
So
it's shown.
there is no, the kitchen, the left-hand side of the kitchen in this diagram is within 30 feet.
That's good, but
Yeah.
that doesn't show it on here. It doesn't show
No,
it.
it does, so I've clearly marked it is within the left-hand side, 26 feet. So I just wanted to be clear with the committee on that. But I just want to understand, what do I need to do with the 30-foot buffer line?
The buffer line itself is fine. It's the 30-foot distance
Actually, maybe
from the
not.
wetland flag to the 30-foot buffer line that needs to be at a 90-degree angle.
Mhm.
And right now, that from the wetland flag down to the 30-foot buffer line, that's 30 feet long, is not perpendicular to the, it's not perpendicular, and therefore it's not correct.
You've got two 30-foot, two lines
Yes.
that are parallel. I don't know that the distance between them is 30 feet.
Okay, so I guess,
That's what
I understand what you're both saying, but I think those are contradictory statements. Is the 30-foot buffer line
well.
correct or
that's
not
where-
correct?
We don't know.
That's where we're,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's-
Well, that dotted 30-foot buffer,
So-
I'm assuming is correct.
No.
So that's what I want to clarify. How can I
This
best
angle is
provide
not
the
90,
committee?
so it could- may not be right.
Exactly. It's going to be less than 30 feet.
So,
If it's as it
Okay.
says, it's not correct.
Sierra,
so where it's measuring 30 feet, you can see it actually goes into the,
Oh.
outside of, excuse me, the 30-foot buffer. So it's, if you actually measured from it, sorry, I'm not able to explain this right.
yeah,
So imagine him.
But yeah, we need the shortest distance between two parallel lines,
Yes.
which is not what we're seeing here. So-
Which you're asking for the shortest distance between the kitchen roof, the project component, to the wetland line. That you want
Yeah.
to see at a 90 degree, correct?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, but the 30-foot buffer line on the.
I want to
on-
see the 30-foot buffer line drawn correctly. And
Okay,
then-
and so
then-
that's
then
the
I'll-
clarification.
and then-
What is
Then it'll be
correctly?
easy to tell whether it's overlapping or not on the kitchen.
What-
If you could help me, then yeah.
I'm,
Sure, okay.
Tell me what
Okay,
look at
can
this,
you-
right? So
Yeah.
like, so and this has been delineated, right? So you got your two flags from your
Yeah.
wetland. And this, for all intents and purposes, is 30 feet, but what they're
Right.
saying is the way they measured it on this angle rather than 90 degrees like this
Yeah.
may not be 30.
So like the project component, right?
Right.
So there's nothing wrong
So
with
like
this
that's
30
probably 30, it probably is measured
Yeah.
correctly, but the way it's indicated, it's not an angle, so technically, they don't really know if it really is.
From the project
30.
component, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that I
now you
understand.
just need to get that measurement, show it on an angle from the wetland delineated area to that 30-foot buffer, and then show them another measurement from the closest point of that
Yeah.
structure to the wetland.
So I just want to clarify, thank you. So I guess, Jim, I just want to clarify, like, the 30-foot buffer line, is there a different way you want this presented? You say perpendicular, but I guess I have trouble
I
understanding.
want the measurement between the wetlands and the buffer line has to be perpendicular to the wetlands line and the buffer line. That's the shortest distance between those two parallel lines. And that's what I want to see, the shortest distance between the two parallel lines.
That if you've got two parallel lines,
Yeah.
a perpendicular line
Mhm.
is viewed as measuring the shortest distance. And so
Understood.
the way it's presented, it's kind of not quite clear
Mhm.
what exactly, there's ambiguity.
Understood.
So, anything else?
So just to clarify for the committee, right, the plan will be updated to show this measurement from the WF wetland flag,
No, no,
30 feet.
no. What we want, well,
So it'll be a series of updates.
Okay.
One being this dotted line that represents 30 feet,
Move down.
clarify and make it perpendicular so that these two lines at whatever parallel angle these lines are running, you'd want to see effectively from here down to here,
Yeah.
a straight line representing 90 degrees.
Yep.
Then also additional measurements then from that point, from the project component, the kitchen roof right and left-hand side, to this line, add again
90 degrees.
Yeah.
the same
That's right.
angle.
Yep.
yeah,
Excuse me, sorry, everybody in the audience, just so you know, the microphones pick up everything, so anyone watching at home, if people are talking in the audience, it's hard to hear up here as well. Sorry, but just wanted to mention.
Understood.
He's got it.
So we designed the kitchen roof to be on the right-hand side, which again, the only identifiable flag I could find was this right-hand side, and that's why we started it at 30 degrees. Took the tape measure, took out 30 feet, marked that the point as the start of the kitchen. So
Well-
we'll have the kitchen basically wherever that 30 foot is.
yeah, and I guess some of this is one of the factors, I don't know what software was used to create this image. Is it also a case of, that where the line has to, where we don't want to see a north-south line, we want to see a line that's perpendicular to the wetlands and the buffer. The software has to be able to give us a line that's at an angle to accurately
Understood.
identify what's being measured. Okay. Anything for you?
Nope.
Any comments or questions from the audience?
So question for me,
Okay,
is there a number that you would like to see that it should be? Because I could change the,
We don't want the kitchen closer than 30, I don't want the kitchen closer than 30 feet.
well, and I guess one of the things,
Well, we try not to keep, when we say sonotube or, like a post or something, we usually don't even want that within closer than like 27, 28. So, yeah, we wouldn't want the
We're gonna be right around-
impervious kitchen to be
I think that's-
closer than 30.
So-
I think that's about the distance it's gonna show
Okay.
when he.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna be close. Yeah.
so with the kitchen, is the flooring in the kitchen going to be pervious pavers as well?
yes.
So with this roof, what we're dealing with is just 4 posts to hold up the roof?
Yes.
Um,
But his kitchen ain't pervious.
no,
It's
all
gonna be
the,
impervious
right, the
pavers,
countertops, the
But it's an
cooktops,
impervious,
the appliances are not.
right, built right in.
But everything's under the impervious roof, so I guess.
So there's an impervious roof and you're having the runoff from the roof going into, I'm drawing a blank on
A
it.
dry well. or-
Dry well.
Yeah, dry well, that's
Okay,
outside.
so
30
in
feet.
fact, with the impervious roof, they're doing infiltration as well.
Okay, it should show that, then I didn't know there was a drywall.
Okay,
How did you know?
because,
It's in the write-up.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
So I'm recognizing that there's a part of this because it's, the design of the kitchen is to run basically parallel to the house, right, for aesthetics. So there is a portion of the kitchen roof that's gonna be within 30 feet. And
and,
so the idea was to run water management, a gutter, that would run the water out here into the, either a part of the impervious paver or the existing lawn itself, which is beyond the 30-foot.
Okay,
So do you have room to tweak this, to pull this further back? You know,
It's not,
right
In order to
now,
not get
if
a no?
you've got this one basically corner
Little-
of concern,
correct.
do you have enough room just to bring that back southerly maybe, just a little bit to?
or
you
even
know,
just
a little bit?
angle it?
Well,
so,
right.
I mean,
just
if
wanted,
that's
you know-
what the committee requests to angle it, I can,
I don't know if he needs to even, just, you know, if he had to just slide it down slightly.
Or to the right.
Yeah, you know,
And, well, that
so
would
I guess
affect
is that the
planters.
committee saying that the water, like basically gutters, is not insufficient?
well, I'm thinking more of his impervious kitchen that's sticking within a 30.
Okay,
So I just
because
think,
those are
is there a way
technically
to
permanent
tweak that,
structures.
to pull that out if it's gonna be problematic, you know, just sliding that slightly south?
Slide it
We're
south
talking the kitchen roof.
or right. Or it just,
Either or, you know, just to drop it within, to get it out of the 30, you
the
know?
permanent structures being the cabinets, cooktops, those non-pervious elements of the kitchen, you know, to the extent that they can be outside the 30-foot. That's what we would be looking for. But it also, if you're going to have a roof drain, having that level of detail on the plan helps a lot. Because that would, you know, that way we see all the components that will be in the plan after it's built.
So is it correct that the committee doesn't want any part of the kitchen roof within 30 feet, even with water, even with a gutter running the water outside of 30 feet?
You
Or is
know,
that to be
possible in that kitchen, well, I'm more interested of the actual kitchen than the roof.
So I guess, Eric, the roof is covering all components of the kitchen.
I got it. But it's, and that's impervious too, so, yeah. I would
Yeah,
probably
so it's
want
really, it's the
both.
roof, right? Wherever the roof goes, the kitchen will
Yeah,
follow.
is underneath,
That's-
so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it's really,
It's gonna be easier for him to follow if I just tell him, like, to keep the roof structure and his kitchen component, try to keep that at the 30 or greater.
To the extent that, yes, that you can, if you can have all of the components no closer than the 30.
Because right now, he's tucked a little, you know, closer than 30. And I was just trying to think, are there ways to tweak it so we can just pull that component just at the 30 or outside? I think what Jim's gonna say, he's gonna be even tighter than he's showing now. So at as close as, you know, as 26.8 or whatever.
25.
You know, it could be 25 or,
Right.
you know, he's gonna lose a foot. So I just didn't know if he had room to slide that, you know, and just to keep it outside, because I think he's gonna be a little closer to the wetland when he does the actual remeasuring. What do you think, Jim?
You got it exactly right.
Yeah, that's what I,
The
yeah.
numbers that you-
is that the committee saying that even with the water management system, pulling the water outside of the 30-foot buffer zone, that's insufficient? Because
Well, it's the
from a
structure,
design
it's
element,
the
it's certainly
structure itself,
doable,
not what you're
it's just
doing.
aesthetically challenging.
Yeah,
We actually have the jurisdiction within 100 feet, but we don't ever go below 30 with pretty much anybody, ever. We've had
Totally
people-
understand.
We've had people move.
That would make the whole property a
move
challenge.
sheds out of, from 12 feet out to 30 feet, pick up a shed that they built already and move it. We've had people do that.
Understood.
So, yeah, I'm just thinking seems doable, but it just might need to be tweaked.
So is that the committee saying,
okay, so, Eric, do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we're just requesting that, you know, the kitchen area, the roof component, and what's below it is.
The pervious items below it.
Right, is no closer than 30 feet from the wetlands edge.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
okay,
That's direction, at least.
Well, but
Yeah,
it's, that way you're hearing that everybody's on the
is in
same
agreement,
page.
yeah.
So, we can continue this to the October 8th meeting, and we can come back and kind of pick up where we're leaving off here. Does that work for you?
yes, could I just clarify then
Sure.
what the committee's looking for next time? This line changes, it's perpendicular,
Yeah.
And you want this entire kitchen element outside of the 30-foot buffer line, wherever the new 30 buffer line is measured.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good to me.
So
And-
irrespective of the water management system, you guys will not approve any impervious material within the 30-foot buffer line for this property.
That is basically our standard
That's
for
what
all
we just said,
projects.
yeah.
Yep, understood.
But also with all of the other distances, if those distances are accurate, those lines should also be
Understood, yeah.
perpendicular.
They
So
will all
yes.
be in the same angle,
Orientation. Awesome.
Orientation, yeah.
but none of them, so it's okay for the pervious patio to be within 30, but not
Those are all
the-
pervious, right? 100% pervious. Every
Correct.
drop of rain that falls
Mhm.
doesn't run off, it soaks in.
Correct.
All of them.
Yes.
That's good.
Yep.
So we said
In agreement,
okay.
yeah, in agreement.
Yeah, yeah.
And so if I come back with that, and then this kitchen is outside the 30-foot buffer line, wherever
Yeah,
that's,
good.
that's
Then
it.
we're doing an order of conditions and you're good to go.
Okay.
Is there anything else in the order conditions that were, I guess I read through the document, it seemed right?
I didn't,
Probably like, when you're gonna do work and,
Oh, I have a copy of it, I just wanted to,
Yes.
is that effectively what the commission is good with?
Yes.
All the items laid up?
the copy of the order conditions, a lot of it, the copy you got, a lot of it was black text and some of it was red text. Black text is our standard boilerplate,
Mhm.
so anything red is something that's unique to your
It's
project.
site-specific, yeah.
Yeah, so we've all looked at that. We haven't made any recommended changes already, so we're fine with them, and it just, if you're fine with the orders as well, then that would not need to be discussed further.
Understood?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
In your dry well. The dry well.
Yeah,
Oh, we need some,
yeah, put,
Whatever the dry well was that you had planned.
it needs to be depicted.
It's in the narrative, you also are requesting it into the project plan.
we want it reflected on the plan, because when you come back and request a certificate of compliance, you'll have to provide an as-built plan to show what was built and describe any discrepancies or variations from what was approved. And so we would want to see the complete plan, including the dry well, that we would compare to your as-built, to be able to say, yep,
You did it right.
you did it right.
And as the dry well being outside 30 feet,
Yes,
Yeah.
expectation, correct?
yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion to continue the public hearing to October 8th?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to our 7:15 PM agenda item. It's a continuation of public hearing and issue order of conditions for Jack and Clara Farmstead LLC, 400 Littleton Road.
Thank you. Good evening. For the record, Brian Goodrow with Hancock Associates, and Mike Provost with Jack and Clara Farmstead, Kimball's Farm, if you will. So since the last hearing, we've revised the plan to reflect all commentary, I believe, to date, including the restoration over by the mini golf tees, as well as the operation and maintenance kind of schedule, if you will, of the netting itself. If you have any questions, I am happy to answer.
Jim?
I see that you have the restoration area along where the stream bed goes. And you have a note in the construction area under wet meadow restoration, talking about mowing once a year. That's all what we talked about, and that's all fine.
Mhm.
But I want to see some kind of signage on both sides of the restoration area, because otherwise, how is the guy on the lawnmower that comes cruising in here going to know that he's not supposed to cut that area every week when he cuts the rest of it?
Okay.
Sierra, can you zoom in a little bit so we can, that lower right, the lower left corner of the plan, yeah, are there's edge of, actually, was there something, Jim, I'm trying to remember, was there something in the order of conditions that talked about the demarcations? I'm
So we're-
just remembering posts of,
It tells about the mowing schedule, that's all.
okay,
That's
but it doesn't talk about signage.
I didn't see signage, that's why.
Okay, that's why you're bringing it up.
If it is, I might have missed it.
Okay.
Is there?
No, I don't believe that we addressed signage. We hadn't talked about that previously. I'm happy to add that. I would anticipate there being maybe 3 signs.
Something like that.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be an awful lot.
just so that that area doesn't get mowed but once a year.
Correct.
In the
Yeah.
fall- In the fall between
Yep.
September and November. Upstream from there is plenty of growth. It's not
Well,
gonna
it's
get
gonna
cut.
eventually look like that.
That's not gonna get cut accidentally, but this new area that we just called restoration, that's just, looks like lawn right now, a very wet lawn.
Right.
And so that I want to make sure that it doesn't get cut except for the November, October, November, September, November time period.
Okay, so you would want to see the signs on the location, do we,
On the edges of the, we call it the restoration area,
So-
30 square feet.
do you want them shown on, so are you saying to have them shown on the plan? Or, for example, they need to be explicitly stated as a condition in the order, special conditions?
Either way,
I-
either way.
If I could suggest it being a condition within the order, and we'll be happy to work with Sierra and Matt to have them installed.
Okay.
Okay, and then that can be a condition in perpetuity?
Correct.
Okay. The point that I had to make is with the netting instructions that are in the upper left corner of the plan, the golf netting operation and maintenance. To me, having them, this being the place where that information is, doesn't necessarily make it easily accessible to be handed to whoever on the staff is doing that work any given year. I'm assuming that for a lot of the other operations, there's task list or documents in an office someplace so that when somebody's going out to do a seasonal activity, there's something that they can be given that says this is what, this is what you do, this is how you do it, or whatever. And because these instructions are in perpetuity, I'd like to have it be someplace where over time, one-page document where the person who's going to be doing it this year can be given something that says this is what you do,
So what I could suggest is we can cut this into a standalone and record it with the order of conditions.
And I'm thinking about,
That way, it's public record, and that one-page document would be available.
and I'm fine with what you're proposing, I just want to make sure that it's in the office to be handed to the guy who needs to do it each year.
You got that? You gotta hand it to your.
We could make a condition to that effect,
Okay.
that they make it a standalone document and record
Okay.
it with it and have it available.
As an
Yeah,
exhibit,
because,
yep.
but it's, I've been around long enough now that I see people hand it.
Miscommunication and things happening.
Well, no,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
the
And it's
baton
get lost.
gets handed to somebody else 10 years from now, and I want to make sure that that person has access to the information, that's down in black and white, not just you've got to tell him what to do, and then it's on him to remember that there's something that he can use for reference going forward.
Completely understandable.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have filing cabinets for everything.
Don't say that, it's gonna get buried.
No, but it just, is so many times, stuff will go wrong, and it's because that information kind of gets lost over time. Okay, so we need, okay, so you're going to create a standalone document that will be recorded independently, and we also need to update the order of conditions for the information. So, in terms of the post that Jim had referenced, would you be coming up with the language to give to Sierra and Matt that says, this is what our plan is for the location of the post, so that they can incorporate that language into the order of conditions?
We can do that. Do you have boilerplate language for signage? I know signs are kind of all over the place. Typically, it's resource area beyond this point. Do
Well-
not mow.
So you're talking about the wording on the signs, and I was also talking about the wording about where the signs will be located. So I think, so yes, I think we have standard language.
Yeah, more or less. We have some standardish language we can probably provide.
That
So
is-
what I would suggest is 3 posts with language.
Posts on each side?
I would say just on the golf course side, So if you look at the plan, if you can scroll down just a little bit. I would suggest there would be 3 posts here, 1, 2, 3. Nobody's gonna be mowing in this section, and the only maintenance along the fence is literally a mower's width to make sure that things are not growing above it. So I don't believe that we need signage the entire length of the fence. So the only place that realistically would start to kind of get mowed or disappear would be on this side here. This is simply not.
On the
gonna be
pitch and putt
touched.
side?
Correct.
Okay, so
So
three signs?
three posts. We could put signs on all the posts if that's the commission's desire, and we can work with staff to get that installed
Okay, yeah, because the signs would have to say,
before the COC.
Resource area, don't mow but once a year between October 15th and November 15th, whatever the
Sure.
dates are.
Yeah.
Something like
Okay.
that.
Yep.
That's all it's got to say.
okay. So that's not the kind of conditions we would want to be writing on the flag. It's like,
Something like that.
yeah, is coordinate with,
We are allowing mowing, but only once a year.
and it is a specified time, yeah.
Yes, at a specified time.
Okay,
So if we say that, we'll do it.
so yeah, if you work with Sierra and Matt to get those, the conditions updated with those, I guess, 2 additional conditions, or whatever.
Yep, yeah, and it sounds like we can kind of work it out, afterwards as well. We don't need the standalone O&M right now, we just need it, as soon as you can after we, issue the OOC and then before you record it, that kind
Absolutely.
of thing. So we can try to work with you to get that all done.
Any comments or questions from members of the audience? Okay, so back again on October 8th to have reviewed the updated order of conditions, and that will take care of any outstanding issues that members of the commission have.
Oh, I misunderstood, I'm sorry. I thought
Oh.
we were planning to issue tonight, so
Oh.
I was just, I was
To
saying,
vote
okay,
on
good.
it.
So,
But it's up to the
Well-
commission, but we could try to, word the conditions in such a way that, they provide us that information before a certain point in the project or something, before they record it. Certainly, we want the O&M standalone, because we want that attached as an exhibit. If the commission would feel more comfortable, continuing it, and we can get these things set before the next meeting, then that's fine too.
We're gonna meet again, right? We're not gonna try to do this now?
well, so what's your level,
In the next 2 weeks.
what's your level of comfort with this level of amending orders of conditions?
Well, I'm-
next 2 weeks.
There have been past times at this site, there's been misunderstandings, I prefer to get things more locked down.
Okay,
I'd rather continue it
Yep.
and redo, and get the orders finalized, the revised, and just close it at our next meeting. Have a next meeting.
Okay, so in conversation, if I could just add, continuation is fine.
Okay.
We weren't intending to install them before October 8th, so we just want them in the ground before it freezes, essentially.
yeah, okay,
So,
It shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine, we'll just clear everything up and then it'll be consistent.
okay. So can I have a motion to continue with the public hearing to October 8th?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Okay,
Something else, so,
Just makes it clean.
thank you.
moving on to our 7:20 PM agenda item, it's a continuation of a public hearing for Zom Living LLC, 37 Powers Road.
Yes, thank you. Again, for the record, Brian Goodrow with Hancock Associates on behalf of ZD Acquisitions LP. So we were before the commission a couple of months ago at this point, and in the interim, we've been working through a number of different design iterations with the planning board. I believe that we're kind of circling around a decision with them. And what we've done is we've reissued our notice of intent plan set to pick up all of the changes to date. There are a handful of items from the last hearing that we addressed, and then we received comments just regarding this plan set, and I can speak to those just briefly as well. So just General idea here, we changed the interior of the project, but we made very few changes to the exterior. Now, with the conservation resource areas kind of at the outskirts of the site, a lot of what we were doing within the planning board didn't affect kind of the configuration of the areas within your jurisdiction. So high level, we changed some roads, we changed some interior parking circulation, we worked through peer review on stormwater. We addressed traffic, there's all kinds of different mitigation items with respect to that. But in terms of the kind of the areas within the buffer, a couple of key points. We made modifications to the multimodal path as well as the wellness trail. So the multimodal path is from Powers Road to Bell Westford. That's on the northern portion of the site by where the gravel ponds are. That went from 8 feet to 10 feet, and we changed the alignment to kind of pull it away from the resource area in specific locations that we could do that and that it made sense to. Now, there was also a nature overlook up by the gravel pond that we discussed on the sidewalk. It's basically at the water's edge, and we talked about different materials and things that we could do to be more in compliance with what is typically expected. So we totally relocated that. It's now outside the 50-foot buffer. It's over by, it shifted about 100 feet east towards Powers Road. It's still overlooking the gravel pond, just not at the water's edge. So, and that's actually up on the screen right now. So that this area right here, that was the nature overlook. It was located right there. So we basically just shifted it up, and then that's our 50-foot buffer. And this is a little fitness area at the edge of the wellness trail as well. So that was a good spot for it. And the 8 to 10 foot path is this guy right here. And then as we kind of work through the site, this is where it connects down into Bell, and then on the other sheets are the wellness path themselves. So there's two separate kind of trails that are out here.
What's this walnut path you're mentioning?
Wellness, yeah,
Wellness, okay.
wellness. So the multimodal, multi-use path is for bikes and pedestrians to get from Powers through Bell up to 110. So we're anticipating a lot of through traffic and that being accessible to the public. Now the wellness path loops the entire site, but that's open to the residents, and that basically starts up by where that connection to Bell is. It shifts into just a kind of a fitness trail, a wellness path. It's 8 feet wide, and it just kind of meanders the outskirts of the project all the way around, and it goes around the entire property. There were other questions. So those are really the major changes there. We did indicate signage, but I think that's a broader conversation that we're going to have tonight. So I want to touch on that last. The other questions that were out here, it was raised what the existing monitoring wells were on site. And that was, so I asked kind of our team what those were, and those were installed as a part of the groundwater discharge permit. So they're monitoring groundwater elevations that are out there. They're temporary for the most part. I believe there may or may not be some that are associated with a final wastewater treatment plant design. But again, it's a monitoring, and it's just taking a look at the elevations that are there. An operation and maintenance plan has been provided by our landscape architect that details the mowing regimes for different areas. And we basically have three tiers. We have a restoration area, which is directly adjacent to the resource area. Then it transitions to a naturalized area, which is diverse plantings, pollinators, things like that. That is not manicured lawn. And then we have the manicured kind of formal plantings more anterior to the site. So there's really little to no manicured lawn in these buffer areas. It's really more the naturalizing and then the restoration, which again, the restoration being the area closest to the resource areas. Another question that was raised during the last hearing was regarding construction and kind of the timing and how things are going to be built throughout the site. So I brought that up to ZOM. We do not have a general contractor or a site contractor on board yet. We're still permitting, and we don't have an approved project. But ZOM was able to ask other contractors that they've worked with how they would approach this site. And the consensus was Club A and B at the front of the site, along with building 1 and 2, are going to be built first. So that's going to be the front 2 clubhouse buildings and then the front 2 apartment buildings. Then the 3rd building will be built, followed by 4 and 5, kind of in sequence. So if you can envision the front portion of the site being built out and then moving in a counterclockwise direction through the back portion. We anticipate the multi-use, multimodal path from Powers to Bell and the northern restoration area to be completed around the turn of Building 3. So it will be constructed as a part of that first kind of series of buildings, and it would be finalized around Building 3. And then the balance of it will be worked through as the construction works counterclockwise. So that's the wellness trail kind of to the west, and then the south back to Powers. So we've detailed that. Additionally, so we got a couple of comments just regarding our plans. One was clarity on the buffers. We had some Scrivener's errors on that, so we will clean that up. The buffers are using the incorrect line type in specific areas, so it's just a layering issue that we will correct for the next revision. And then I think the more prominent comment was regarding the signage. So what we've done is we understand that there needs to be a permanent marker for the delineation of essentially no touch, right? So once we get done with our restoration and that's been fully established, we're not anticipating any of the landscaping or the maintenance to be in those areas, and that should be delineated basically at the edge of this wellness trail. Right now on the plans, it's being delineated by the erosion control line, which is incorrect. So
Okay.
we will correct that. And if you can envision how it's set out right now, we basically have a 50-foot interval of posts. And every 50 feet, a PT post will be set with a little placard on it. And those are the posts with signs. So at 50-foot intervals, I would anticipate it to be maybe 4 feet off of the wellness trail. So just enough distance that we can maintain kind of the vegetation right at the edge of the wellness trail. And then beyond that, that would be essentially naturalized buffer.
So the posts kind of give the landscaper, he sees that it's 4 feet off the trail. And so even if the trail is curving, he's not thinking to do a straight line.
Straight line from
Yeah,
post
he
to
just-
post, he's
it-
gonna
it
follow
helps
the
him-
trail all the
Yeah,
way around.
it helps him keep a 4-foot width.
Exactly.
trail, okay.
Exactly. And that kind of maintenance width, if you will, is just to make sure the trail doesn't become overgrown and then
Yeah. Keep the
underutilized or not
keep
utilized.
The side vegetation.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So I think we certainly still have a little bit of legwork to do on those. My goal for this evening is to understand that if we've addressed, minus what we need to revise, the commission's comments, concerns, or if in the last handful of weeks, since the site walk, since our last meeting, there are other questions out there that we need to respond to, some things that the commission, would like to see differently, that we could take under advisement. So our goal for next hearing would be to have this revised and then hopefully work to an order.
Okay.
Well, really, few hearings, did you mention your issues with snow storage?
No, I was gonna let you guys get your questions out first. But yes, that's sitting at the back of my mind. It didn't even make it on my list. Did you, has the operation and maintenance plan been provided to us? Because I didn't see anything in, okay. Because that does not mention snow at all.
Okay.
So it's kind of,
So
you know,
that
so
would be-
It needs to mention snow.
So
Yeah.
what I would suggest is we've done a snow storage management plan for the planning board. We can share that with the commission.
Thank you.
And then what we've done, I don't have it with me to show you, but we've maintained areas that are primary and secondary snow storage. So we have a lot of primary snow storage where you push snow into islands adjacent to parking areas and things like that. We've identified two very large secondary snow storage areas that if the primaries get overflowing, if you will, with snow, you know, you can take
Take a
off.
front end loader and move it somewhere.
Yeah.
That's
and,
exactly it. And
I
all
get
of
it.
those areas are directly adjacent to pavement, pitched towards pavement, so the snow melt's gonna go through our stormwater management system. And we try to be as sensitive to the landscaping plan as well as natural vegetation. So
yeah, and for me, it's if we happen to have a very snowy winter and they're trying to keep the wellness trail clear, it's kind of like, how are you gonna do that? Where's that snow gonna go?
So the wellness trail will not be year-round.
Okay.
The multimodal path will be.
Okay, and then, yeah, so with the wherever is going to, whatever pathways are going to be accessible year-round, we would want to know what the snow clearing plans and the ice treatments,
No ice treatment.
okay. So people
And
will
I'm
wear
assuming a
crampons.
pathway, they're just gonna get one of those little, they'll push it to the side.
And that's what I would anticipate. So the
Okay.
multimodal path is porous pavement, so you're not gonna see the ice that you
Okay.
would with traditional asphalt or pavers or even gravel.
Okay. I've walked on slippery gravel, but yes, you're right. But yeah, is what you've created.
So you wanna see that reflected in his plan?
Well, if he's.
It'll be a standalone document.
Yeah.
but we'll
Yeah,
submit it to you,
is what you
certainly.
come up with for the planning board, I would like to review.
Yep.
You know, thinking about it from our perspective. Anybody else have? Laura?
I was just wondering, what is the difference between the general planting schedule and the naturalized planting schedule?
Mhm.
Because one has all the same plants as the other one, but one has less than the other one.
So just to caveat this, I am not the landscape architect. And is your question more just the variety of species that
No,
are
well,
there?
it was more like one, I haven't printed out, one had like, I don't know, 10 species, and one had 20, but the 20 encompassed all of the 10
And
that
then
was
some.
over here, so what, is
Why
one
was there-
like
there
the
was a difference?
ideal and one is,
Or why?
What are the two charts?
yeah, what, like, or is this the first planting and this is the second, so where everything says one tree, there's actually gonna be two of some species, like, I don't.
No, so, and I can get confirmation on this. Our general scheme for plantings is to use local vegetation, right? So like non-invasives, non-ornamentals, everything that's typically found here in Westford. We've chosen the better looking plants, if you will, for general planting, and that's throughout the site. On the naturalized planting schedule, it's a larger list because you want a more diverse kind of population of plantings in that area, because those are closer to the resource.
And so those would be less maintained versus the first group. That's where that's where it will be kept looking more attractive.
Correct.
And they're not delineated at all in like,
So they are, it's represented by the hatch-in.
but that's just showing like where there's a tree and where there's a shrub. It's not showing where the
Right,
elm is going or where.
Right, so these are not construction plans. These aren't construction drawings, it's schematic. So generally, at this point, we would be issuing a pallet, which is what this is, saying we're gonna install these types of vegetation, and then do the detail. I want an elm here next to.
Okay, so there will be a time when that does come.
Correct, so
Okay.
that'll be done around building permit time, so I would anticipate that somewhere in the spring. We'll have a new set of plans. And if you wanted to take a look at the landscape drawings, they'll be available, because we have to file them.
I'm good.
Well, I had one more question. What is an anti-desiccant?
Anti-what?
Anti-desiccant?
Mm-hmm. F13
That's,
says it will be applied twice a year.
desiccant is drawing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, it's to try something, I don't know.
And why are we doing that in a resource area? I was just wondering why it's being applied.
So let me ask that question and get back to you.
If I'm pronouncing it right, desiccant. However you pronounce it.
So you said that was F,
F13.
Yep, anyway, start on the bottom of page 2. Application of anti-desiccant per specifications, 2 times during maintenance period, once late fall, once in midwinter.
Against mold? So what you think of?
Maybe, but winter? That seems-
I'll get an answer.
yeah.
I'll get
We
back
can
to you
speculate
on
all
that one.
evening.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, but yeah. So, Sarah, do you have anything?
I don't have anything, but I did want to mention, because I forgot to do this at the very beginning. Oh, sorry, wrong screen. We're getting used to the new system. So we had received a letter. It was anonymous. They had provided it to all of our department boards as well as the Board of Health. And so this was just, in the packet to provide it to you. I mean, a member of the public did, make comments. We always want to provide that. It doesn't seem this particular letter is really very relevant to the commission's jurisdiction, but because it was addressed to you, we wanted to make sure that
Did
you
we
saw
get
it.
that?
Yeah, it was in there.
It's,
How do we know that it's a resident?
It's in the electronic.
Well, yeah, I guess we have to assume so because it is anonymous, so.
Yeah.
Our other comments have come with names, but we did get this one anonymous one, so just providing it for information.
and it's in this packet because this is the first meeting since it came in where we're actually having a discussion.
Yes, yeah, so they've continued a lot with conservation as they've been working through the peer review process and revisions with the planning board
Okay.
aspect, yeah.
Could you print that for me? Would
It-
that be an inconvenience? Can you
It may
print-
be in your packet.
It isn't in.
No,
the-
not the
it's
hard.
not-
it's not-
We only put plans in the packet, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I
If you
can
get a
print it
chance.
for you.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Any comments or questions from members of the audience?
Or just send it to me in the email or something.
Oh, yeah, sure. Whatever's easier for you, I can.
Yeah, email would be fine.
So Brian,
Thank you.
continuing to October 8th.
Okay, October 8th sounds good. Now, again, it's, as we're winding down the planning board process, my client would like to wind down the conservation as well. So obviously, we're committing to revising the plan, issuing snow storage, and then figuring out what the anti-desiccant actually is used for. Outside of that, and I'm sure there'll be a little bit more discussion on the signage at the next hearing. Is there anything else that's out there?
So
that
you're
we need
hoping to get
address?
your orders on our following meeting, not this coming, but the
Not the 8th, but the
following.
next one.
I think that's reasonable. Is that gonna work with your timing for the planning board? Because if we close it and they make changes.
So Monday, we have a planning board hearing, they're holding a special hearing for us, and then the next planning board hearing, we're anticipating a vote, so they're actually gonna be closed before the 8th.
Okay.
Okay, then that's.
So ideally, I'd love to be
Yeah,
able to get an
no,
order
so,
on the
yeah,
8th,
second
if we can
meeting
do
in
that.
October maybe, you know,
My only request was, I realize you tried to keep things concise and we had little snippets of plans combined on pages. If we're now starting to review the limit of vegetation management is going to be parallel to,
Parallel to the wellness trail,
yeah,
4 feet off.
I would find that very hard to look at with the way these
you want a more
tree sheets.
comprehensive
I
all in
would-
one plan?
I don't, I'm not,
What I can do for clarity and to aid that discussion is we can generate a separate exhibit that just shows the monumentation, it can show the hatching, and it can show kind of the line, the wellness path as well as the multi-use path, so that way you can see the northern wetlands and the southern wetlands. The only issue with that is it's gonna be at a very large scale.
And I'm fine with that.
And you'll be able to
Yeah.
cross-reference with the detailed
Yeah.
20 scale plans.
It'll just give you a better overall visual.
Yeah, it'll let me look at it
Yeah.
site-wide.
Okay.
That would be great, yeah. You know, just because now that I know that it's going to follow the wellness path, it's just nice to be able to see it
Yeah.
in a larger
Continuous,
perspective.
Yep, understood.
Okay. So can I already asked if there were questions. Can I have a motion to continue to October 8th? Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to our 7:30 PM agenda item. It's a public hearing for 8 Windsor Way.
Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Westford's non-zoning wetland bylaw, Chapter 171. The Westford Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, at 7:30 PM in Meeting Room 201 at Town Hall, 55 Main Street, to consider the notice of intent application of Stavros Andriopoulos for the installation of a 16 by 32 in-ground pool and associated patio and fencing within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands and bordering lands subject to flooding at 8 Windsor Way, Assessors Map 15, Parcel 38, Lot 0.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. My name is Hushman Dafshar, Taj Engineering LLC, and I'm here to represent the owner and the applicant, Mr.
Andrew.
Starbuck. The proposed project is an in-ground swimming pool. It's a single-family house, and as you can see, almost the entire existing improvements are located within the buffer zones. However, the proposed pool and patio and in general, all the proposed improvements are well out of the 55-foot no-build zone. Even the erosion control barrier is about probably, I would say, 8 to 10 feet out of the 55-foot no-build zone. The pool, as I said, is 16 by 32. It's in-ground. There's a patio around it, which is an extension of existing brick patio. It is enclosed by a 4-foot fence, which has got a self-latching lock and a gate, I should say. And also at the down gradient of the proposed improvements, the patio, we are proposing a drainage trench more than 2 feet deep with crushed stone of different grades in it to receive any runoff from the patio. The details of which is shown on the plan, and with that, I'll be more than happy to answer any question.
Jim?
The area around the landing, what is the material of the landing is? Is that just grass? It says LND, and in the legend it says that's a landing.
Yes, that is all lawn.
It's just lawn, okay.
Yeah.
And the brick patio, what are those previous brick pavers?
The brick patios, old brick patios, I do not think they are impervious.
So is this currently exist, this brick here?
The lighter
And-
hatched.
So I'm seeing the lighter shaded brick, I'm thinking that exists, and then the darker shaded brick is what you're adding?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't
Okay.
know that.
Yes, sir. Anything dark is proposed as is usually the technical standard, and anything light in the background, light gray, is existing. That's what I meant when I said almost the entire house and the improvements are within the buffer zones.
God, how did he get his patio so close from before? It was within the 30.
And don't know
It didn't
when.
come before us.
I don't know when, yeah.
Yeah.
What he's got proposed right now is,
all outside.
it's all outside, so that's
Yes.
fine.
Yes, all the new stuff.
You know, I'm more looking at what he did before and wondering how he did it.
That's why I was focusing on that area.
I know, and it's, and then I saw the different colors, and I'm like, well, it seems like that already exists. So maybe we do something, but we have him pull something back? I mean, my question here is, over in this corner, we typically don't allow you to come closer than 30. I'm thinking this probably didn't come before us for an order of conditions, that it was like, if you bought it or you did it, you know.
No, that wasn't on.
Yeah, okay, so, yeah. So, like, I'm thinking that that's probably okay, what we got going on over here. We might ask you to make a little alteration over here.
Alter what?
Well, right now, he's inside of the 30.
And that's
with
existing.
With some pavers that currently exist. I
Yeah,
mean, we would probably have him pull that little corner stuff out. See where his corner of his garage is?
The LMD and below it.
Yeah, so right in that area right there is the issue. And Jim noticed it, so.
That's a retaining wall, actually.
Is it?
All around.
Yes.
The double line that you see, it's a retaining wall which keeps everything above the ground and above down the slope.
so when was the house, when was the
15
house
feet
built?
away.
I mean, the garage is all in the no build.
So, yeah, we're kind of, does some
Yeah.
of this potentially predate some of the legislation we're talking about?
Yes.
The regulations,
That's correct.
that if it was,
Well, I don't know that yet.
yeah,
I mean, when did that retaining wall and all that stuff go in? I mean, we've been doing this since the 90s. This isn't 30-year-old work, is it?
Lauren.
So let's take a site visit. I'd like to, I see what's going on here. I'd like to see what's going on here. Because whatever we say he can do over here, we might just want to take a look over here and say, hey, and I'd want to know a little bit more about when that was put in. Not by the current owner, but,
The house was built in '83.
The neighbors are well within that 50-foot no build as well.
So what was the date of the legislation? The year?
early 90s. This was the Local
Ours?
Wetlands Protection Act, I think.
What,
So maybe it does predate, I don't know.
This was probably 10 years before the act.
okay.
But the Westford ones, the Westford one was 89 established. I don't know when the borders were, and then last
Yeah,
updated
okay.
in 2020.
Okay. Yeah, and so Eric, you're proposing a site visit, in terms of looking at it?
Yeah, it just, there's a bit going on here.
The construction was built in 1983.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're telling me that this happened prior to, the promulgation of our local wetlands bylaw, then, what he's currently
87.
proposing is outside of that. So my issue wasn't with what he's currently proposing, it was what was currently existing. What if it was prior to the implementation of our local wetlands bylaw, then, so be it.
Right.
Yep.
And all the new stuff is outside, in our jurisdiction, but outside where we're really concerned with.
So we don't need a visit.
The new stuff.
Lauren?
I would only be concerned with how are you planning to drain the pool?
Drain if you don't need something to build it inside or however.
Okay,
So all our vinyl pools have a overflow and you don't have to drain it.
So it keeps water over winter?
Correct.
And there's a cartridge filter
That's correct too.
that you change the cartridge.
No backwashing on the filter.
No backwashing.
okay.
Right, so the cartridge filters could be taken to the front of the driveway and those stuff.
Okay.
And that is on the plan, actually, note number 4.
I'm fine with what he currently has planned.
Okay,
Is
If
this,
I'm not looking at what's currently there, but what's being proposed,
Oh.
what he's proposing is fine too.
okay.
is this fresh water or salt water?
This is all west.
Okay.
Yeah. 2,500 parts per million. typically the
Yeah, I was
saltwater
wondering,
range,
yeah.
yeah, around 2,500.
So probably less chemicals than
Correct.
freshwater.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, and this one, it's a notice of intent, doesn't look like there's a DEP file number yet. We'd have to draft order of conditions, so this is not something we could close tonight. But yes, in terms of,
We don't need.
Yeah, but this is something he's gonna be able to do.
Right,
He can
okay.
do this, yeah.
so the fact that what's existing there looks like it predates the local regulations, and so we don't even need to go there.
That's what I said.
Right.
Okay, so do we have any, so we don't have any outstanding questions or issues for him? It's just the rest of the process to get a DP file number and to issue an order of, draft and issue order of conditions.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. Any comments or questions from members of the audience?
It's a good project.
Yeah, okay, so we will continue the public hearing to October 8th. Matt will draft and send you some order of conditions to review. Hopefully DEP issues the file number so that we can issue the orders
And then close the
and
public
close the
hearing.
public hearing. So
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
you're good.
everything we should be able to complete everything on October 8th if DEP and
If everybody else
does their
gives us
part.
what we need, yeah, we should be able to close this on the 8th.
Can I ask the committee a question?
Sure.
So
Sure.
the erosion control barrier, is that a necessary aspect of the project?
Like the straw wattles and stuff like that.
I'm just
Typically
making-
that,
I know I have professionals here, I just wanted to confirm because, budget's always on the top of mind, so.
Yeah. The concern is, a freak rate, so it just, if the unforeseen happens, that keeps your soil and stuff from flowing towards the wetlands.
Yep.
It's more preventative than
I'm
anything.
assuming they're gonna dig the hole, they're gonna strip the dirt off, you're not gonna keep the dirt on site and spread it.
No stockpile.
No stockpile.
Okay. Where's the septic?
In the front,
In the
in
front.
front of that.
Okay, and so you have a way to get your equipment there that's not gonna go over the septic?
Correct. Yes, and also we did propose a dumpster in front out of the 100 buffer, just in case they have to dump some debris.
They find something.
Yep, yep, I
Yep,
got it.
okay.
On the driveway in front.
Okay. So can I have a motion to continue the public hearing to October 8th?
So,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So we will see you on October
you.
8th.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, one last quick
Sure.
question. Appeal period?
Not
once the
yet.
orders are issued and reported? Is
You
there,
got your
is that
proof of
a-
Is it like a couple of weeks or
It's 3
something,
weeks.
and you're doing stuff at your own
The
risk
appeal
or
period
whatever?
after the orders are recorded is 3 weeks.
Oh, goodness.
2, 3 weeks?
I
Usually it's
thought,
20 days.
thought it was, yeah, no, I'm thinking of, I thought it was 10 days, I don't think that's right.
Could be
Sorry,
10
I much
days
more
or
work with
less.
planning and zoning, I apologize, I know that's a
Okay.
lot better.
You expecting somebody to appeal it?
No, just,
It just how quick-
getting later in the year for installation, that's
Season.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, something's making me think 3 weeks.
all.
But,
Could be.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll-
but 2 to 3
We'll see you on the
weeks.
8th.
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Okay, and the next item at 7:30 is a certificate of compliance request for 69 Broadway. My understanding is that Matt still has not received the items he's requested.
Yeah.
The property owner has not come to the meeting, so we can't reiterate what those items are. Well, actually, you know what, let me reiterate them for the public record in case somebody's watching at home. The things that still need to be provided are an as-built plan explaining any deviations from the approved plan, written confirmation of who is responsible for implementing the O&M plan, including inspections, and an email or letter to Matt outlining the plan for removal of accumulated items east of the barn and shed.
Okay.
And so those are the 3 things that we're waiting on before we'll act on the request for certificate of compliance.
Sari, just get that.
Huh?
Did you just get that, or?
Oh,
No, I was,
Yeah, no, we
Okay.
have it all
I have-
in writing and stuff.
it was in my notes that I sent to her after reviewing the
Okay.
packet, but that was just, we've got a TV audience, as I'm learning. And
Okay.
so, I want to just make sure that those things are clearly stated.
Okay.
So, we don't have any minutes, correct?
We do not, but we do have some miscellaneous things that I will just go through briefly.
Okay.
Well, we got a notification for one of the projects in front of us because we own some land near it. We received this document. I honestly don't know too much about it, but it's the MassDOT invasive plant management plan for the area, and so they have some areas within Westford that they're specifying where they're going to be planning on doing that, which is primarily along major roadways. You also received a public hearing notice for a planning board project. Sorry, just reminding myself what this is. This is for 130 Littleton Road. They were formerly called the Grace Community Church. They are now Orchard Church. Same folks, just different name, but they are proposing a ground sign, and this had received an order of conditions initially, where it did have a sort of sketched out area of where the sign would go. They're actually shifting that slightly, but our department administratively approved the change as it's only a slight shift and it's moving further from the wetlands. So just so that you're aware, if that project sounds familiar at all, that's what it is. They just need a signed special permit because they're too close to the property line. You also received a notice of decision about Stanley Way, formerly 478 Groton Road, just saying the decisions have been issued. And then this was the Wendell Place CR.
Okay.
That was included as well. And then there's going to be an event on September 27th called From Sunlight to Starlight. It's a sustainability event. There's a flyer actually included here. So that'll be this 27th from 2 to 4:30 p.m. at the First Parish Church United, if anyone is interested. And that wraps it up for the miscellaneous items.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Can I take a picture?